Hello, welcome back. One of the founders of America once had a fascinating quote, and that quote is this: "Never confuse motion with action." That was Benjamin Franklin that said that. I'd like to add to that, if I could, and I can, it's my video. Never confuse motion or action for productivity. I can't tell you the number of times and the number of people I've talked to, and I keep hearing over and over, I have been so busy lately, I'm sorry about I couldn't return your phone call. Sorry I couldn't send you, I've just been crazy busy. Can we please, pretty please, with sugar on top, stop with that fallacy? You're not fooling anyone. No, you're trying to tell me you don't have time for a phone call or to shoot a text back. I'm a little tied up right now, but I will get back with you. Just some kind of contact. Let's be clear about this. Every human on the planet has 24 hours in a day. We make time for the things that we want to make time for. I can't tell you too, and I've been one of them, the number of guys that I have seen who are truly, genuinely, at that moment, busy and will stop for a girl or for a woman that he wants to talk to. We all make exceptions, and we all make time for the things that we want to make time for, even if it's just a few seconds. The business of time management, am I the guy that you want to listen to? Maybe. I can tell you what not to do. What I generally like to do is cover the basics, get the details down, get a big plan, then wait to the 11th hour and 59 minutes and 42 seconds and give a flurry of activity that you would not believe, and then finish and breathe a deep sigh of relief. Never missed a deadline yet that I can recall. Do I recommend that? I do not. What generally happens as well, and years past, I've pulled the all-nighters. I've pulled, go all day and all night and missed the sleep. About 36, 38 hours in, you start getting really stupid. Things like balance become a little tricky sometimes, for me anyway. It's not a good idea. It's not healthy to miss sleep. I don't care how important whatever it is. It's not a good idea. It just isn't. There are people that can manage their time efficiently and effectively, and I truly do admire those people. I am not one of them, never have been. There's supposedly, I read somewhere about a Chinese fella he's a billionaire. There's probably a reason for that. He manages his time in 15-minute increments, which is not only fascinating, but crazy. How does that go? It's 11:45 and entertain me. Oh, 12 o'clock, I gotta check my email. Thanks. And maybe it does go something like that. I don't know. What I do know is he's a valuable man, money-wise, and he has allotted his time, apparently, into incremental blocks because he knows what his time is worth. And if you want to grind that hard, go get him, cowboy. That is totally up to you. Again, I admire, in a certain way, I admire those kind of people. If that's your thing, go get it. Another thing I can tell you is that the whole notion of time, as far as clocks and what have you, is totally a man-made invention. And I know that because we have clocks, and they were made by humans. And before that, we had sundials that were made by humans. Because with this shade and to this shade is the ideal time to do X, what have you. The trouble with that is it might be one of the oldest lies in humanity to keep you scurrying and scuttling chasing that clock. We all have 24 hours in a day. We all have 365 days in a year. And I'm not saying that calendars and clocks are the worst thing ever. You've got to have some kind of organizational things in the current way society is, just to be able to meet up with people or do whatever it is that you're doing. What I am saying is to pinpoint and calendar and map your entire life that is not for me. 150 years ago, any third grade boy that was a son of a farmer could tell you the difference between a waxing moon and a waning moon. That's how they planted. That was a way of keeping track of time. These are the ideal moon, the way the sun and moon moved across the sky, or rather the way the earth shifted. You know what I'm saying? Those would be the ideal time to plant crops and possibly even to harvest crops. It was a way of keeping track of time. Well, now we have a little more advanced calculators and information and calendars and all that jazz. You can read 1,000 books on time management, how to be more efficient, how to be more productive. And I'm not saying that they're not without merit. There are always ways to be more efficient. There's always ways to be more productive. What's interesting to me is looking around at society now, and we have more time-saving gadgets than ever before in history, and it isn't even close. I mean, there's automatic vacuum cleaners that you just turn on and they vacuum your house, the Roomba. Now they have lawnmowers that are, I don't know how they work off remote or something. It saves you that time, that frees up your time now where you can do something else productive, in theory. What it's getting us is screen time and time to be discontent and time to think about all the ways we've been done wrong or all the things that we should have had and don't, and all the people that said this and didn't say that, and all the comment section, and some of that stuff is okay, and I participate in it too. Not gonna lie about it. I encourage you, I always encourage you to make comments or thoughts because they're interesting to me. There's a part of that has value and merit. There's also another part that is, it can't be solely responsible for putting society on the brink of collapse, but my gosh, look at what it's done. What have we done with all this free time? Are you really more efficient if you freed up all this time and now you're sitting around complaining about this and that and the other thing? And I have never in my life seen so many people with so much free time. And the more free time that you have, I mean, it's like the old saying, idle hands are the devil's workshop. You start getting into things that you don't need to be into. And you do what you want to do. I have a certain difficulty with the whole time management thing. On the other hand, the other side of that coin, myself personally, I could do better with time management. I waste a lot of time. But is it wasted? I look at things like conversations with other humans. Almost never is that wasted time to me, because there's always a nugget in there, or several nuggets. The better caliber of person that you are speaking with, or the more informative they are, or the more possibly successful they are, whether that be financially or just as a human in general, there's nuggets in there that you can take with you, and they'll be beneficial to your life. So yes, I could have been more efficient. I could have cut the conversation short. I got to go. I got 15 minutes. I got to get back in the truck and get down the road for my next thing because I got to be productive. I got to be proficient and I got to manage my time. Or I could spend that 15 minutes or 25. I'm not timing it. Listening to somebody who knows more than I do. And I can get those nuggets for free. All it costs me is time. So, is it a wasted endeavor? Is it wasted time? It's managed for myself very loose with time. And I don't mind that at all. Sometimes I do a little later. Well, you should have stopped the conversation and, it'll be, all right, I'll see you later. Oh yeah, and by the way, and that's another 17 minutes of story time. And check this out real quick before I go. I'm horrible about it. Horrible. I'll be the first one to admit it to you. But I don't ever look at that as a waste. Opinions vary. Have you, as a viewer, read an excellent book on time management, because I read a lot of books. If you would, put it in the comments section, please. I thank you for watching. It took some of your time. Hopefully it was worth the trade-off. See you next time.